Welcome back to Magic 8 Ball Bets, where I bet money based off of this 8 ball right here, so you don't have to. Today we're going with the MLB. These bets are for Friday, September 5th, 2025. You know the rules. The rules are simple. We start with the over-under. We see what the 8 ball says, and we move to the money line and then the run line. We always start with the away team for the money line, and let's get this one going. First off, we have the Washington Nationals at the Chicago Cubs. The over-under is about 9.5 Friday at 2:20 p.m. And we don't see a whole lot of anything interesting besides the Cubs down here. They are being hammered on the money line and pretty much the run line. Over-under is wishy-washy. All right, let's start with the over 9.5 points. Will Washington Nationals Chicago Cubs score at least 10 runs? Let's see what the 8 ball says. Very doubtful. Okay, so it's probably a no. Will they score under 9.5 runs? Outlook not so good, so we're just going to leave that one alone. All right, next up, let's go to the money line. We'll see if the Washington Nationals will beat the Chicago Cubs in an upset as underdogs. Concentrate and ask again. All right, so we'll come back to that one. Will Washington cover the run line plus 1.5? Let's see. Ooh, outlook not so good. We're not liking that. Let's go back to the money line. Will the Chicago Cubs beat the Washington Nationals? You may rely on it. That's pretty good. I like that. And will the Chicago Cubs win by at least 2 points? 2 runs, excuse me. Reply hazy, try again. I'm not feeling it. So we're going to go with the Chicago Cubs as the favorite at minus 222 odds. Always shop around for odds. Next up, we have the Chicago White Sox at the Detroit Tigers. The Chicago White Sox are currently the underdog by 160. And when we look at see a lot of money on Detroit both sides, and a lot of money over here on the over. So let's get straight to it. Let's ask the 8 ball. Will the Chicago White Sox and Detroit Tigers score more than 8.5 runs? Outlook not so good. It's kind of fading them. So we're going to put a little X on that. Let's double confirm. Will they score under 8.5 runs? Outlook not so good. So we're wishy-washy on that. We don't know. Will the Chicago White Sox beat the Detroit Tigers? As we see, yes. That would be a big upset. So that is going to be a check mark. Obviously, they would cover the run line. Let's just ask anyways. Will they cover the run line at plus 1.5? Outlook good. So obviously, that's going to kind of confirm what we saw before. So we are going to take the Chicago White Sox plus 160 money line. Next. All right, next up, it looks like we have the New York Jets at the Cincinnati Reds. It's kind of a pick'em game. This could be a close one. The over-under is at 9 right now. If we look down at the public money, we see a lot on Cincinnati covering the run line here. A little bit more on the money line. And then the over-under is slightly favoring the over. So let's get straight to it. Let's ask the 8 ball if we're going to fade the public here. Are we going to get over 9 runs? Signs point to yes. All right, so we like that. All right, now let's go to the money line. Let's see, will the New York Mets beat the Chicago or Cincinnati Reds? I cannot speak. Yes. That is a solid lock. All right, will the New York Mets win by at least 2 runs? Yes. All right, so we are going to lock back. You know, we'll take both. We're not going to lock in one or the other. We're going to lock in New York Mets money line for minus 124, and we're also going to take them on the run line plus 140. That's going to be minus 1.5. They will win by 2. All right, on to the next one. All right, next up on the slate, we have the Milwaukee Brewers at the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Brew Crew is favored. This is kind of a pick'em game as well, over 8.5 at the current odds. We can look down here at the money line. It's favoring it's favoring the Brew Crew on the money line and the run line. Public slightly favors the over. Public likes the overs. Let's get right to it. Will they 8.5 runs? Will we get there? You may rely on it. I like that. I like the over 8.5. Now let's go to the money line. Will the Milwaukee Brewers win as the favorites in a close game? Could be a pick'em. Outlook not so good. We're not really sure on that. Let's ask, will the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Milwaukee Brewers? Ask again later. We're not sure. So we'll come back to this one. Will Pittsburgh cover 1.5 point spread? Outlook not so good. Okay. Will Milwaukee win by 2 points? 2 runs. You know what I mean. Magic 8 signs point to yes. So this is the positive one. All right, we like that. Let's go back and double confirm with the 8 ball. Will the Milwaukee Brewers win against the Pittsburgh Pirates? Cannot predict now. So you know what? We got a soft yes on Milwaukee money line. So I'm going to say we should take Milwaukee on the money line. We'll take Milwaukee money line minus 140. All right, on to the next one. All right, next up we have the LA Dodgers at the Baltimore Orioles. We currently don't have any public betting data for this, but we have the over at 8.5. LA Dodgers are the slight favorite, and we have pretty close run line at 1.5. Let's get started with the over. Will the LA Dodgers and Baltimore Orioles score over 8.5 points? Signs point to yes. Okay, we like that. Will the LA Dodgers beat the Baltimore Orioles? Outlook not so good. Okay, so we're not sure about that. Will the Baltimore Orioles beat the LA Dodgers? Reply hazy, try again. Okay, we'll see. Will Baltimore cover the run line 1.5? As I see it, yes. Okay, so we like that. All right, let's go back to the money line. Will the LA Dodgers beat the Baltimore Orioles? Outlook good. All right, so this one's gonna be a tight one. Let's write down all 3. You know what? This could be a tight one. All 3 could hit. This could be a crazy parlay. All right, on to the next one. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. It's basically a pick'em game, it looks like, with the over set at 8.5. So let's get straight to it. Will the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees score over 8.5 total runs? Signs point to yes. Okay, we like that. We like that, Mr. 8-Ball. We like that. All right, now will the Toronto Blue Jays beat the New York Yankees? Outlook not so good, so we're not sure. We're not sure on that. Will the New York Yankees beat the Toronto Blue Jays? Don't count on it. Okay, we're not sure on either of those. Will Toronto cover 1.5 runs on the spread? Most likely. So that's kind of a soft yes. We'll take it anyways. We'll take the over 8.5. All right, on to the next one. Next up, we have the Seattle Mariners at the Atlanta Braves. Currently, Seattle is a slight dog at 120, 132. It's kind of a pick'em game, though. We have the over at 7.5. We do have some public betting data, so let's take a look at this real quick. All right, a lot of money. Most of the money, at least, on the money line is for Seattle. On the run line, most of the money is over there on the Braves. And we're not really sure about the over-under, so let's get started right there. Will they score over 7.5 runs? Cannot predict now, so we'll come back to that. We'll put a little question mark on there. Will Seattle beat the Atlanta Braves as slight underdogs? Signs point to yes. It's a soft yes on that. Will Seattle cover the run lines? Because we got a soft yes before, so we want to double confirm here. Better not tell me now, so we don't know. All right. I don't know what to do with that. I think anything else will double negate the 8-Ball. Let's go with money line, see if we get it. Will Atlanta beat Seattle? Signs point to yes. Okay, so we're not really sure on this one. This is just going to be a big fat pass. The 8-Ball does not know. It's too close. All right, on to the next one. Next up, we have the Cleveland Guardians at the Tampa Bay Rays. This game is basically a pick'em with the over at 8.5. Right now, on the money line, most of the bets here seem to be on the Rays, and we've got a lot on the over. So let's check it out. Will the Cleveland Guardians of the Tampa Bay Rays score at least 8.5 runs? A little shake here. Let's see, what does that say? Concentrate and ask again. We will concentrate and ask again. We'll come back to you. Will the Cleveland Guardians beat the Tampa Bay Rays? It is decidedly so. That is a lock on the Cleveland Guardians. So obviously we got a lock on that. They're going to cover the run line, of course. Let's go back to the over-under. Will they score more than 8.5 runs? It is certain. So we've got a double lock right here. So let's write this down. All right, on to the next one. Our next game, we have the San Francisco Giants at the St. Louis Cardinals. This game is a pick'em again with the odds. We have a total of 8.5, and it looks like we've got a lot down here of the money on the San Francisco Giants and a lot of money on the over, at least preliminary. So let's get started. Will they score over 8.5 runs? Yes, definitely. I love a good lock early on in a matchup like that, especially on an over. All right, now let's go. Will the San Francisco Giants beat the St. Louis Cardinals? You may rely on it. That's a soft yes. We like it. All right. Will the San Francisco Giants win by 2 runs? Very doubtful. Okay, so we don't like that. Will the St. Louis Cardinals cover the run line of 1.5? Without a doubt. That is a lock over here. So I think we've got 2 locks and 1 potential money line. So let's take all 3. All right, on to the next one. Next up, we have the Athletics at the LA Angels. LA Angels slight favorites here. It's kind of a pick 'em. The over/under is at 9.5. We don't have any public details on this one, so let's get right into it. Will the Athletics and the LA Dodgers score over 9.5 runs? Yes. I mean, yes is a lock to me. 9.5 seems a little high, but we'll see. Will the Athletics beat the LA Angels? Give her a shake. Ask again later. All right, cool. Will the Athletics cover the run line of 1.5? Because I see it, yes. Soft yes there. All right. Will the Athletics beat the LA Angels? Outlook not so good. We're not sure. Okay. Will the Los Angeles Angels beat the Athletics? It is decidedly so. All right. So we've got the Angels as a lock, the over 9.5 as a lock, and a slight lean for Athletics to cover the run line. So I think we're just going to take the Angels here on the money line and then the over 9.5. Alrighty, on to the next one. All right, last but not least for the Friday slate is the Boston Red Sox at the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's shaping up to be a pick'em game with an over under about 8.5. Got a lot of money down here on the Red Sox and a lot of money on the over. The public might be pretty smart with that one. Let's see. Let's see what the 8 ball says here. Will the Red Sox and the Diamondbacks score 8.5 runs? Very doubtful, as the 8 ball would say, so we don't like that. Will they score under 8.5 runs? Let's double confirm. Signs point to yes, so we're going to take the under, actually. All right, next up, let's go to Boston. Will they beat the Arizona Diamondbacks? It is decidedly so. So, I mean, that's a lock right there on the Red Sox. Will the Red Sox win by at least 2 runs? Outlook is good, so we like that. I'm going to go ahead and and leave it as just the Boston moneyline lock. That seems good to me at 122. And then we're going to take the under 8.5. All right, that's going to conclude today's episode of Magic 8 Ball Bets, where we go over Friday, September 5th of the MLB schedule. As always, tell me if you like the bets, if you disagree with the bets, tell me what your bets are, because obviously the 8 ball is all hail the 8 ball. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I'm going to lose money or win money, so you don't have to. And if you want a tail, please call 1-800-GAMBLER, or don't. Put your house on it. Not financial advice. This is not financial advice. These are my picks, and you should do with your money what you want. All right. Thanks again. See you tomorrow.